Right. Oh, I think I'm live. So, hey everybody, I'm Baseskip, and welcome back to another replay from the International Preliminaries. This was day 2. It's going to be Zenith versus CLG. This is game 1 of the two-game set, which determined placement in the main event. It's a little bit late for me right now, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I said daily, and I mean daily. So, as always, hoping to do more practice. Hopefully improve a little bit with every single game that I do. And so without much further ado, we'll be getting into the picks and bans, and I guess I'll keep chatting from there. As always, if anybody has any content whatsoever that they'd like me to cover, then I'm more than happy to just send me an email, send me a YouTube message. Anywhere where you see Baseskip, then I check pretty much all of it. And straight away, getting into the picks and bans, and Zenith going for Venomancer and Leshrac. So not throwing away their bans, but maybe going for sort of what people would consider more tier 2 heroes. Maybe not the first ban, so we'll have to see. Yeah, and Sand King as well. So it looks like we're going to see a lot of heroes make it through. Nog's already being banned out. We might see the Darkseer banned by CLG, but there's definitely going to be a lot of great heroes making it through into this game. So as always, as the trend has been for the past few replays that I've cast, I've taken this one from a recommendation thread over on the Dota 2 subreddit on Reddit. So, and this set of 2 games, especially the second game, came very highly recommended. So, looking forward to some excitement. And CLG really considering what they want to ban out in this last ban for this first phase. But plenty of heroes are going to make it through. I mean, in terms of sort of first pick ban material, we've still got the Lycan, we've still got Rubik, we've still got Darkseer, Invoker as well. All of them would be worthy of a ban right now, but it's just a question of what combinations you want to give away and what you think Zenith is most likely to take, because CLG is still going to be able to pick up 2 of them themselves, so they need to be quite careful in terms of what they're giving away here. And Chen is actually going to be the ban. So Lycan, Darkseer, Rubik, Invoker, and a slew of other heroes do all make it through. And so Zenith want that Lycanthrope. And CLG, they've really got the pick of the litter here. We'll have to see what they go for. Maybe something like Darkseer and Rubik, something along those lines. Depends on how much they want to try and pick up something to shut down that Lycanthrope straight away. They could always go for an Enchantress, something like that, trying to run a bit of an aggressive jungle and push Lycan out, maybe push him into lane where he's a little bit easier to gank, a little bit easier to keep tabs on. But it's definitely an interesting draft in this game. Banning out supports and, fantastic heroes like the Venomancer, Leshrac, and Sand King. Again, they're just not really what we would expect to see in this first ban phase, and it makes for really interesting drafts. So there's the Darkseer, and again, it's a tactic that we have seen before, and it's a tactic that we've seen from Zenith as well. Just even games against Orange, I remember from the start of the Beyond the Summit World Tour, where they just chose to not ban. Sorry, I'm also getting over a little bit of a cold, but regardless, I will try and not cough too much and clip my mic. But Zenith versus Orange, they chose to just throw away their bans. A ton of interesting heroes made it through, and we saw some fantastic wombo combo games in there. It was absolutely great. And so CLG taking that Invoker, so more than likely going to see Pycat on his Invoker this game. So should be very exciting. And picking up the Darkseer and the Invoker leaves them fairly flexible in terms of lanes. Invoker, as always, a fantastic solo mid, and Darkseer great for taking that hard lane solo. Lycanthrope, more than likely in the jungle, but he is a reasonably strong laner as well. So not all too restricting there. Could even put him on the safe lane. But we'll have to see what Zenith opt for. I definitely think they need to make sure to build a team around this Lycan pickup, because I think one of the issues was that as teams started forcing Lycan through the picks and bans, was that teams weren't considering the time that he needed to get the ball rolling, and then also making sure that you are synergizing with sort of the playstyle of the Lycan. So if they're going to be picking up Beastmaster and the Rubik, so perhaps they're hard lane solo and maybe they're solo mid. Rubik can always be played as that sort of support role, but I do sort of think it squanders his potential. I mean, he's not a bad hard support, but a hero as exciting and dynamic as Rubik does sort of get stunted a little bit when he lacks levels. But we'll have to see how he's played this game. And CLG maybe will betray a little bit of how they think the Rubik's going to be played in their bans coming up. We'll have to see if they go for any hard support bans or whether they think that role is going to fall to the Rubik. And CK is actually going to be the next pickup for CLG. So another hero to me that's similar to the Lycan. He's very strong, maybe not quite as much up there in some people's minds, but I think we do see a lot of games where CK just sort of falls off in the middle of the game. Even if he has great farm, great kills early on, gets to that sort of drum, treads, armlet, and then if he fails to get to that next big item, if he fails to make the push to Reaver into Heart or getting that BKB up, then he can fall off a little bit in terms of his carry potential. But if he's able to get up to those couple of big items, then he's just absolutely a monster. I mean, CK with the Heart, the Phantasm Illusions are so ridiculously difficult to take down. But Enchantress is banned out and CM as well, so Zenith knowing that CLG are looking for a hard support right now, and CLG may be thinking that Rubik is going to be played in that hard support role. There's still plenty of options left to lane with that CK. Leshrac obviously has been banned out, but there is always the Ancient Apparition, and an AACK lane is really, at least in my mind, it's completely terrifying. There's no chance that, you should be able to get a cold feed off every single time between the Reality Rift and the Chaos Bolt, and it's just so much damage output on whoever you line it up against. AA maybe not quite as popular as he used to be in the Dota 2 scene, and well, even then he hasn't really made a big splash in Dota 2, and we haven't really seen a lot of teams even running him as a solo mid. But I think we have seen him a few times with the CK, so we'll have to see what CLG opt for in their hard support this game. There's still plenty of options left for them. There's the Shadow Demon if they wanted to run maybe a Quas Exort Invoker. Landing those Sunstrikes out of a disruption isn't all that difficult, and it's extremely powerful with with or without a Soul Catcher on top. So we'll have to see what Zenith are going to do to round out their lineup, and Tinker is going to be picked up as well. So great counter push there. Enigma for CLG. So good jungling option for them. Maybe even, could be a hard lane solo, but I think we're likely to see Darkseer taking that role this game. And with the Darkseer and Enigma, we've got the potential to see that tier 1 tower on bot wiped out straight away. Eidolon's holding off the creep wave, Ion Shell just absolutely obliterating them. And so we'll see if CLG opts to do that, maybe try and set the pace of this game early on. And I really like the Tinker pick, especially with the Beastmaster and Tidehunter picked up as well. So some great defensive pickups for Zenith. So Lycan should have all the time in the world to get his farm on. They've got Beastmaster, who's easily able to take a hard lane solo. He's going to be able to stack up Ancients using that boar. For the Tinker, Rubik probably going to be played in that hard support role, but as always acts as a fantastic deterrent to the Enigma and even to the Darkseer and the Invoker. There are just great spells all around for Rubik to be stealing over on CLG. And Disruptor, last choice for CLG, a hero that I think we didn't see quite enough of, but going to see him in this game. And it's really a big worry for Tinker. Glimpse can always push him out of the fight at a pivotal time, and any other TP support needs to be extremely careful. It means that any TPs that you send in to try and get a counter gank off need to be defensive. They need to be behind your tower to make sure that you can TP in. And even then, a maxed out Glimpse is going to reach right past the tower and send you back to wherever you came from. But anyway, Over on CLG, we've got Ake playing the Enigma. Looks like he's going to be heading into the jungle. Lacoste is going to be on the Darkseer. Miracle on the Disruptor. Misery is going to be on the Chaos Knight. And Pycat going to be on his Invoker. Over on Zenith, we've got Ice 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 playing the Tinker. Looks like he's heading towards mid. Bit of a bottle rush going on for him. HY going to be on the Tidehunter. X Freedom is going to be on the Lycanthrope. Quelling Blade and 4 Clarities picked up for him, so it looks like he's going to be heading straight into the jungle. And Loda playing the Beastmaster, heading up towards the top lane, and already picking up some early boots of speed to try and stay safe up on this hard lane solo. There is not going to be a lot of help coming in for him early on. And that leaves, last but definitely not least, XY is going to be playing this, this sort of hard support Rubik. This game. Already placing down a lane ward to spot out what's going on this bottom lane, and it looks like CLG will not be going for the first aggressive tier 1. And Zerman Rune is bot illusion, so XY maybe going to pick that up. We'll have to see. Maybe just leave it for X Freedom to use in his jungle. And CLG, they probably know that it's here. They had a hero up top, but don't quite know what the rune is. So anyway, I'm rambling on. I'm losing track of my thoughts here. So Lacoste, he's going to be soloing down on this bottom lane. Not going to have a fantastic time. Rubik's going to do a fairly good job of zoning him out. And Rubik's actually a fairly good counter to the sort of hard lane solo Darkseer. Able to deal quite well with wiping out the creeps. The Fade Bolt as well means that the lane probably doesn't push quite as much as the Darkseer would like, and that sort of thing. And also Telekinesis, not a terrible counter to the Surge. Good long duration stun, can wait out that duration. Over on mid, we've got Tinker facing up against Invoker. Pycat not really giving away what build he's going to be going for just yet, but probably going to be seeing maybe a Quaswex Invoker out of him. But as always, qualifier on Baseskip's predictions, they're probably woeful. And up on top, we've got Miracle and Misery with Ake over in the jungle up against Loda. So again, he's picked up this early boost of speed, realizing that he needs to be extremely cautious up on this top lane. And especially with a combo like Chaos Knight and Disruptor, if you're out of position, even by a little bit, and even if you're out of position, 4 seconds ago, then you're going to be pulled all the way back, glimpsed back, reality rifted, and stunned, and there's just really no hope for you there. Ice Ice Ice, already with an early level in March, but getting harassed down by the stuns, and Ake coming in from the side. Looks like this might be first blood on this middle lane. Just need another right click, one more. Is Ice 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 going to be able to make it out? No, bottles up. And Loda coming in from the side, just needs one more right click to finish off Ake. Great counter gank by Loda. And Pycat taking a lot of damage as well. Looks like he might go down. Axe is not quite enough. Loda, not quite finished off by the cold snap, but very, very close play on this middle lane. And Pycat down to 1 tango, so Quas Orbs up, just trying to regen as quickly as he can, but Ice Ice Ice, not quite enough mana to do anything, but Ice 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 definitely in control of this middle lane right now. Pycat just hitting level 4 now. Ice Ice Ice, he's still got all of the creeps just wiped out, so even waves, but Tinker maybe a little bit ahead. Oh, actually no. 9 for 3 against 8 for 3, so fairly even. Looks like Ice 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 wasn't quite in range for the XP from the first blood, but that's going to be a big help for Loda, and able to use that gold to pick up his bottle, so helps him out on the top lane. Just going to be able to use axes to help spam out a little bit. And CLG, suspecting the ancient stacking coming out for Zenith, have placed down a great ward just to block that for now. And LD mentioning something that I probably should have had up anyway, so LD from the past, thanks. I'll just put up License and Denies for now, and hopefully I'll switch over to something a little bit more instructive like Net Worth a little bit later in the game. So in terms of farm right now, Misery doing extremely well. He's completely uncontested up on this top lane. So 26 last hits for him. X-Freedom in the jungle, 23, but again, jungle creep's not worth quite as much as lane creep, so that's not really a fantastic indicator. And I'll switch over to net worth right off the bat. It's just because we have a jungling Lycan, and as he kills that small camp, it's not a great indication of what's happening. Lacoste getting slowed down here. Looks like he's going to be going down as well. Telekinesis is still there. Going to surge. Telekinesis pulls him back. Going to be another kill for Zenith. And X-Freedom picking that up as well. So already picked up the Sage Mask and a Bassi for him. So it looks like he's going to be going straight for a medallion. Maybe a Vlad's as well. Tier 1 on top. Taking quite a bit of damage just because, again, Loda hasn't been able to do that much. Needs to be extremely cautious about his positioning. And so, yeah, going to be a tier 1 for CLG. So, first tower of the game claimed by them. And they're probably going to be looking to hammer through to the tier 2 as well. See if they can draw Zenith away from their lanes. But they might be more than happy to just sort of let it fall. Loda, 1 second stun on him. Kinetic field down as well. Getting nuked, but nothing to tank up the tower. So, Miracle taking quite a bit of damage from that. And Loda just going to continue to try and spam axes to hold on to this lane as long as they possibly can. XY's coming up now as well, just to try and give him a hand. And HY wailing on the cost, but the Ion Shell just doing too much damage. And HY, no items picked up just yet. Could afford his Arcane Boots if he wanted them, but we'll have to see what he's going for this game. I'm not sure if Loda's going to be able to get something like a mech up. So we'll have to see if that might fall to HY, who is farming quite reasonably. And already up to that level 6 as well, so if CLG continue to try and push, well, anyway, hold that thought. Tornado on the middle lane, 4 seconds on Ice. He's going to be going down here. Pycat picking that up, taking a little bit of damage from the March in the process, but Quasorb's going to be keeping him up just fine. And X-Freedom already picked up that Medallion of Courage. So, again, both teams, they have a jungler, so they're both getting that XP advantage, but Zenith are doing exactly what they need to, well, not the advantage, but taking full advantage of all the farming potential on the map. X-Freedom looping around onto Lacoste right now. He's going to surge, but the Ravage pops off as well, and looks like it's going to be another kill for X-Freedom. Yeah, that crit with a double damage rune absolutely wiping out Lacoste, so he is not having a fun time down in this bottom lane. And if you just compare the hard lane solos for each team, Loda's got a kill, not doing terribly in terms of last hits, but definitely ahead of the Darkseer right now, only by a little bit, but without those deaths, he is doing reasonably well. Misery in from the side. Loda needs to be careful. 3 seconds stun on him. Is there any support coming in as well? Just trying to block for now. Still has the Reality Rift and just needs one more right click to finish him off. Well played by CLG. So picking up another kill. Kill score now 3-2. And Misery again doing fantastically early on this Chaos Knight. We'll have to see if he can continue this through to the late game. And just needs to find that combination of getting towers and getting kills and getting the creep kills on top of it. I do think the one weakness that we do sometimes see of CK is that his ganking skills are so good that he goes around and helps. But Misery gonna get telekinesis back. He might be going down here. Just clipped by this Axis Loda, not quite level 6. Not gonna have the roar. Great kinetic field by Misery. XY still chasing it. And Courier coming in from the side just to drop off some wards, but Misery gonna be fine to retreat back. And Lacoste getting a little bit of a dive on him, but pops off the surge. No telekinesis to pull him back right now, but looks like it's going to be a tier 1 for Zenith down on this bottom lane. And this is exactly what Lycan wants to be doing right now. Playing reasonably uncontested. HY getting caught out right now. Cold Snap and the Ion Shell as well. Just, it's so much damage. And so, kill picked up for Lacoste. Going to be happy with that. A little bit more XP for him. And the tier 1 tower going down, he's not all that concerned. Frees up a little bit more farming space for him. Looks like a little bit of engagement might be happening right now. I guess I've already seen this moment from the highlights. So Miracle gets thrown up by the telekinesis. March of the Machines looks like it's going to kill him, but does manage to deny himself to those neutrals. So really well played by him. And Ice getting chased down right now. Reality Rift not quite in range. And looks like he might not be able to make it, but no, Reality Rift now catches him. 2 seconds stun, will go down. Pycat picking up that last right click to finish him off. So CLG tie up the kill score right now. And one of those is a deny as well to the neutrals, I believe. I think that's how the counter works. So CLG may be a little bit ahead. I will just take a quick opportunity to look at the gold and XP. So 1k in favor of CLG right now for the gold. Little bit, well, getting close to 3k in terms of XP as well. So, but again, Lycan is farming extremely well. 1.4k gold, so very close to his Vlads if that's what he's heading for. Yep, so Morbid Mask and Ring of Regen picked up, so he's going to have that Vlads very soon. And that just means the potential for a solo Roshan is always there. And no wards up on the Roshan pit either for CLG, so maybe just relying on keeping an eye on that Lycan, and maybe once they see that the Vladimir's is up, they'll be going for something. Pycat smoked up right now, looking for X-Freedom, gonna find him. Tornado pops off the ultimate, Cold Snap on top as well. Miracle looks like X-Freedom's gonna be going down here. Yep, so kill picked up by Miracle. HY in from the side, Static Storm down, EMP as well. XY Pycat looks like he's just going to be trying to retreat out. Miracle gets caught in the telekinesis. Loda coming in from the side as well. Looks like Miracle's going to be going down here. Last right click from HY finishes him off. Lacoste just surging away. But Pycat managing to sneak around and, well, maybe he TP'd, not sure, but managing to get out. HY Ravage off cooldown, so it's a good opportunity for them to go for a little bit of a push. Misery picked up that illusion rune. They do work with the Reality Rift, so it's not a terrible rune for CK by any means. And but yeah, with the Ravage off cooldown, it's a great time for Zenith to be going for a push. And I'm not sure if CLG are going to be able to take this fight. They've got the Black Hole up, but the Static Storm is down for about 40 seconds. So yeah, it looks like Zenith are just going to be going straight onto this tier 1. Misery and Pycat here to hold. Hero is moving into position as well. Ake off to the side. He's heading towards his mech right now. But Ice keeping that March of the Machine spam down and keeping CLG even away from their own tower. Wolves just... Level 4 Wolves do absolutely disgusting damage. It's really ridiculous, especially to squishy supports who just don't have any stats or armor. They can really shred them. And another March of the Machines down already. So Zenith really want this tier 1, and the towers are big help for Tinker in getting his boots of travel. Static Storm and EMP on top of HY. Not enough mana for a Ravage. We'll have to see if CLG keep going for this, but fighting in the March, I mean, Miracle was just standing on the edge right there and already down to half health. It's so dangerous. Tier 1 not quite in deny range just yet, but yeah. So Zenith looks like they either dewarded or just waited out the duration on that observer on this ancient camp. So they've been stacking that up. So Ice is going to be to his boosted travel, no problem whatsoever. Lacoste trying to suck Ice up onto the cliff, but no luck. And Tinker, as always, had a TP, so he was going to be fine to get out. Not quite to his BOTs yet, but that's about 3 or 4 ancient camps there, so over 1,000 gold. HY going to be hit by the EMP Tornado again, so no mana for him. And it's really just how powerful Quaswex Invoker is at disrupting teamfights, and it means that HY has to wander all the way back to base. Doesn't even have enough mana to cast his Arcane Boots. Loda has had a little bit more space to farm since we last saw him. He's managed to get off that top lane, and he's doing reasonably well for himself. A kill and an assist. Still trying to get back into this game. We'll see if he gets any of the XP from the ancient camp now. So Ice gonna be cleaning out that stack right now. XY just giving him a little bit of a hand, but Ice very close to his travels. Just needs to finish off this last golem, and he'll be very close. You have 1,900 gold for him, so reasonably quick travels, given that he has 2 deaths. And we'll have to see where CLG go from here. How is Misery doing? So he's finished up the Treads, Drum, and a Bottle, so his ganking potential is there, and he's doing quite well in terms of the farm as well. It's just a matter of keeping that up. Unfortunately, the team fight from from Zenith, the March of the Machines, and the Ravage, and well, the Fade Bolt as well from the Rubik are going to clean up his illusions reasonably easily, so he's going to need a lot more strength to try and beef those up to make them relevant in the late game team fights. Zenith again going for a little bit of a push on the middle lane. They've got that Ravage off cooldown, and Ice 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 now has his Boots of Travels finished up, so Rocket and March spam is just going to be relentless from this point forward. And looks like the tier 1 is going to be going down. EMP, is there going to be a deny? No, not quite. And Zenith moving forward. Ice 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 getting all of his mana burned away by the EMP, but Miracle maybe in a little bit of trouble now. Good glimpse, but Loda's still on the chase, has the roar. Wolves are here as well. Ice 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 going to pick that up with the laser. And X Freedom, he's just had exactly the game that he's wanted to. 1 death, but 2 kills and assist on this lycanthrope. The most farmed here on the map, just by a small margin, but his push power is just absolutely disgusting. I mean, look at that. 2 wolves, plus Lycan, plus about 1 melee creep, and cleaning up that tier 2 tower, absolutely no problem. Lacoste just hiding off to the side right now, tries to vacuum up, but that is not a cliff that you can actually get people stuck on. HY moving around right now. EMP not going to hit anyone. Loda on the retreat. X Freedom as well. It looks like HY is going to be fine to get out too. So Zenith pick up a tier 2 tower. They're up 2 in terms of kills right now, and we'll have to see what CLG can do from here. Did I miss a death for CK? I guess I did. Oh, that's embarrassing. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not actually sure where that was. I just saw CK responding, but anyway, Zenith's push now with the Boots of Travel online on Tinker is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he's going to be making sure that CLG are pushed all the way back to their towers all the time, and it means that they can't group up for smoke ganks or anything like that either. So long as their towers are pushed out and they need to be, well, so long as they're pushed up to their towers and they need to be babysitting them, it means that they can't leave, they can't have heroes off the map for maybe as long as they would like. Lacoste, he's still trying to really recover from the time that he had down on bottom lane. Darkseer, definitely one of the best heroes to recover from the hard lane solo in the game, so he shouldn't have too much of a problem, and just going to be able to jungle up a little bit. Competing a little bit with Ake, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. And CLG gonna go for a smoke right now. And Hawk gonna fly right over the top, not gonna spot anything out. We'll have to see if they're gonna be able to pick off HY. Loda already retreating off, so Tidehunter probably the likely target. Loda up here as well. We'll have to see what they can do. Tornado not quite hitting anyone. HY with the immediate aggressive blink forward and the Ravage. Vacuum into the black hole on 2. Wall down as well. Misery is here. HY trying to do what he can before he goes down. Roar pop down to Lacoste. X Freedom in here as well. Misery going down. Loda taking quite a bit of damage. XY in from the side. Lacoste now on the retreat. X Freedom still chasing now out of that ultimate form. And Pycat now on the retreat as well. So 2 for 1 the exchange. And Tinker getting a kill as well on Miracle. So 3 kills for Zenith, even with that big vacuum into the black hole. And it should be a couple of easy towers for them from here. Ice gonna go on Lacoste. Tornado's gonna fly through. Is he gonna be able to make it out? Cold Snap on him, stolen by XY. Fighting in the march. Pycat on the retreat right now, but Wex Invoker maybe just a little bit too fast to get on top of. And tower denied down on bot by HY. Should be another tier 1 on top for Zenith. And this Lycan again is just doing exactly what he wants to this game. And all of these towers going down is just pushing Zenith's net worth above CLG's. I mean, 7.2k up on the Lycan now. 6.6 total on Tinker. So Goldgaff, yeah, 3k in favor of the Radiant right now. 2.5k XP. That last team fight was really ugly for CLG. They fought it well, but as soon as they went on HY landed a fantastic Ravage, and despite the black hole, there just wasn't a lot of damage to follow it up. Coming out of the black hole, I mean, X Freedom had absolutely no trouble, and Loda was able to survive as well. So CLG, I mean, they dropped everything. They did what they could, but Zenith's teamfight just came out on top. They didn't have Disruptor there for that, so they didn't get maybe the full wombo combo off that they would have liked with the Static Storm on top as well. But he's playing in the hard support role, so he's not going to be level 11 for a while. So does reasonable damage at level 1, but we'll have to see if that would have been the difference. They're definitely playing from the back foot right now. And Misery picking up a Vitality booster. Not sure if he's going to be opting for a Vanguard or just holding on to that for his heart later on in the game. And again, he's really going to need one if he's going to get anything out of his Phantasm Illusions later on. And so, ward down for CLG on the Roshan Pit. It's going to be going down in just a second. And Zenith, they've got the Ravage on cooldown, so we'll have to see if they go for it. And XY with that Stolen Tornado going for a smoke right now. See if they're going to be able to get a pick off. CLG really playing 5-man Dota right now. Just Lacoste trying to get a little bit of a push down on the bottom lane. And Zenith, HY, he's got the Ravage, he's got the Blink. CLG need to be careful. Black Hole not off cooldown for 20 seconds. This could be a really messy team fight. Roar obviously off cooldown as well. Loda opting to pick up that mech. And here comes the Rocket Harass. Big Blink, big Ravage. Miracle almost immediately picked off. Good mech by Ake, but he's already dying to that March. Ice is taking quite a bit of damage. Illusions for Misery. Are they going to be able to pick him off? Drum Charge popped as well. He's retreating off to the side. Being chased by X Freedom and HY as well. Is there good vacuum by Lacoste? Surge onto Misery. He's probably going to be able to make it out, but looks like Ice bought back. He's coming back into the fight. 3 dead for CLG at the cost of just a single buyback for Zenith. And it should be a tier 2 for Zenith as well. HY playing aggressively, but there isn't really that much chance for them to defend. EMP down, just trying to hold off the tower, and the fortification popped as well, but Lycan is just such a pushing monster. And Zenith looks like they're going to retreat and maybe go for the Roshan right now. CLG, they've got the black hole up, but so long as Rubik is just hanging off to the side, there's not really going to be a great chance to get it off. And having that black hole turned around on you as well is not something that CLG want right now. They're now down 7 kills. Yeah, Goldgraph more than 5, Golden XP both more than 5k in favor of Zenith. And Roshan going down. Ice gonna pick up that Aegis. So gonna be more than happy just to stand in the middle of the team fight and get down that double march. And it defines the fighting space so well. I mean, there's really no way to fight in a double march of the machines. Even with a mech and a pipe, your supports and your squishier heroes just go down way too quickly to make it even close to sustainable. And with the constant threat of the Ravage there as well, CLG, they have to be on the retreat constantly throughout these team fights, but they're just getting punished for it. And, being grabbed up by XY and whatever multitude of stuns he's got. I mean, he's got maxed out telekinesis and the stolen Chaos Ball right now. So he's got around 8 seconds of potential disable just on one hero. So CLG, I mean, they want to play this retreating team fight outside of the march constantly, have drawing Zenith towards them. But if they're getting picked off, then they're losing heroes without getting anything in exchange. So we'll have to see if maybe they're able to take some team fights at their racks. They're definitely not out of this just yet, but it's not looking great. And again, I mean, Misery, he had such a fantastic start to this game, but as I think we do often see CK do, he can just sort of fall off towards the middle game. He's definitely a late game monster with maxed out Phantasm and a few items. And his early game ganking potential is great between the Reality Rift and the Chaos Bolt, but I feel like he just sort of flounders a bit in the middle game where the Phantasm illusions aren't really doing that much. They're getting picked off quite easily to AoE, and the stun and Reality Rift just isn't as impressive in these big scale fights as it is in the earlier skirmishes. And Zenith now completely taking control of CLG's jungle, so they've definitely got an advantage not only in terms of farm, but the rate of farm that they're getting as well. CLG, if they can win a team fight, there's still plenty of towers left for them to take. Roshan obviously already taken, and it's not going to be up for a little while, so probably just going to have to try and hold on for now. If they go into team fight, there's some towers there for them, and they can swing the gold maybe a little bit back in their favor. But I mean, the net worth graph does say a lot right now. You know, everybody aside from the hard support on Zenith just has so much more farm than any hero over on CLG, and it's really a product of the Lycan, and Zenith knew exactly how to play around it. They got the hero. Well, not only did Loda play perfectly up on top lane, realizing that he was going to be the hard lane solo, he was at risk from the disruptor and the CK. Grabbed those early boots, managed to stay reasonably safe, and Zenith they played the first few minutes of the game defensively enough, picked up those kills on the hard lane solo down on the bottom lane as well, and from there Lycan is just sort of snowballed. I mean, 5 kills, 1 death, 3 assists. He's picked up a lot of towers for his team. That's a lot of gold. I mean, CLG, no outer towers left for them on the map right now. But I mean, still 4 outer towers left for Zenith, so that's a big part of the gold difference right now. And Zenith looks like they're just going to be forming up right now for a bit of a push. HY. Level 2 Ravage up, still has that blink. Perseverance picked up as well. Oblivion Staff getting close to Refresher. And with the Arcane Boots, he's going to be able to get it off as well. EMP gonna land on X Freedom and HY, burning them off a little bit, and a great glimpse back, but Miracle looks like it's going to pay for it. BKB popped by X Freedom. Misery trying to do what he can, but the Ravage pops off. Is he going to be able to get any more damage off? No, trying to run back through the march. Good Black Hole, hits on 3. Ice is taking quite a bit of damage, still has that Aegis. Wall on top as well. Misery looks like he's going to be going down here. X Freedom just gets that last right click off. He goes down, doesn't have the Aegis. Ice is back because of the Aegis. Is he going to be able to get out? Reality Rift pops off, but does not cancel off the Boots of Travel, and Lacoste getting a kill as well on Loda as he tried to retreat out. So 3 kills picked up by CLG. Great defensive team fight for them. I mean, even though Miracle got picked off really early on, the glimpse backwards forced Zenith to take a team fight that they maybe weren't really prepared for, and CLG managing to capitalize on top of that, managing to capitalize on it. But Zenith, they should just be happy right now to maybe fall back, farm up a little bit more, wait for the Ravage to come off cooldown, or maybe even push, given that Black Hole is on cooldown. We'll have to see. They're definitely in an advantageous position right now, but CLG may be feeling a little bit more confident, able to grab a little bit more control back of their jungle, so increasing their potential rate of farm. And items are definitely what they need to finish up to be winning these team fights. Hex would be extremely helpful. I mean, just look at the March of the Machines. Misery already down to half health. Miracle, about a quarter left for him. Tornado through. Is it going to pick him off? 48 health left. And Mech popping off as well. Zenith now on the chase. Blink forward. Gush into Miracle. Deafening Blast. Aki gets pulled back. Manages to get off a stun, but he's going to be picked off right now. And Zenith, they just continue to chase. Continue to get pulled back. And CK stun stolen by XY. But 2 heroes picked off for CLG. And again, CLG, they can't fight in the march, and they just can't retreat because they get picked off one by one. An excellent play by Zenith, but it looks like they should be able to get a tier 3 here. I mean, Enigma and Thrall are going to be up in just a second, but there's no Black Hole for over a minute. Static Storm is there, but again, only level 1. EMP going to hit and slow down Ice and HY. But we'll see if it's enough to hold off Zenith. Ice just going to head back to base for mana. And X Freedom continues the split push on the side lanes. I mean, CLG, between the Tinker and the Lycan, the split push potential is just enormous right now for Zenith. And they're keeping CLG hedged into their base and completely denying them any control of their jungle. All the farm that CLG is getting is whatever ends up right in front of their tier 3s. And it just means that Zenith, again, are able to outfarm them. They're pushing out the gold advantage right now. And Ice, 3.7k up on him, so maybe just saving for buyback since he can always just jump straight back into the fight. But he's going to be heading towards a Hex soon as well. I really should stop calling it a Guinsu. That's, I guess, old habits die hard. Anyway, so X Freedom again continues to split push down the bottom lane. CLG, they form up and they've got the black hole off cooldown now again. So if they can do something similar to what they did when Zenith last pushed up into their base, they might be able to take another convincing team fight. But if Zenith just goes straight for the aggressive initiation with HY blinking straight up into the high ground and going for that Ravage, I'm not sure how much CLG are going to be able to do. I think that their big advantage in that last fight was the fact that maybe they took Zenith a little bit off guard with that great glimpse from Miracle. And Misery picking up an ultimate orb, so looks like he might be heading towards a Manta Star right now. And it's a good choice, especially in the position that they're in. If they can take a team fight, then Manta plus Phantasm is just going to absolutely shred towers, so they should be able to grab some of that gold difference back. Then he can start turning that that vitality booster towards a heart. But 12k the gold difference right now, and more than 7.5k the XP difference. So Zenith are in a really comfortable position right now, and we'll see if they opt to wait around and maybe finish up some items. Refresher's going to be finished up on HY in just a second. Loda's already picked up that pipe. How is Ice going in terms of that Hex? 4.4k gold up on him, so he is not that far off. And opted to pick up a Ghost Scepter as well, just to keep himself safe from that Chaos Knight. And Misery continues to farm, but again, he had such a great early game in CLG. I think a big point was that fight that they took up on top. Well, maybe not that even they went for a gank, and it just definitely did not work out. Trading 3 for 1, and every single time you'd lose a fight even marginally against a lineup with a Lycan and a Tinker, it just means that you're going to lose at least 1, maybe 2 towers. And Ice only 775 away from his Hex. So we'll see if Zenith just choose to wait around for that. And X Freedom still with a 9-second BKB, and HY grabbing up that Refresher Orb. So double Ravage or half cooldown Ravage instead for them in these coming pushes. And that's just going to be absolutely devastating. Does Enigma have a BKB? Okay, 900 gold away, but I mean, even with the BKB, there's always the potential that for XY to be there and steal it. And so unless they can pick off the Rubik, he just can't feel comfortable casting that black hole. I mean, in the hands of Zenith, March on top of a black hole is just absolutely, it's terrifying. There's really no winning a team fight from being stuck in a black hole with a March over the top of it. It just does such a ridiculous amount of damage. And again, CLG completely pushed back into their base. Zenith now going to be going for this Roshan, who has just respawned. So, and Tinker actually opting to grab up a Shiva's instead of a Hex. And X Freedom gonna grab that Aegis. So Refresher up, Shiva's up, Aegis up. This is really Zenith's time to push, I think. They've managed to secure their advantage in as many ways as they possibly can. They should feel really confident about taking this next team fight. I mean, golden XP, I hazard to look at it, but 10k the XP difference, 14k the gold difference. CLG sort of holding on for dear life right now. And they continue to get pushed in from all angles by Zenith. It looks like X Freedom might just stay down on this bottom lane for now, while the rest of Zenith, a little bit of a split push up on this top lane. And we'll see how CLG try to allocate their heroes to deal with this. If they just go 5-man up top, we'll have to see what happens. And Ake buying up the last-minute Blink Dagger. Element of Surprise maybe going to be enough to hold on to this team fight. We'll have to see. It'll really have to be the biggest black hole of his life. Tornado flies through. EMP down as well. Pipe already popped off. Loda going to eat the brunt of that EMP. So is Ice. But Mana Boots popping off. HY not hit by it, so with his arcane boots, he's going to have enough for that double ravage in this coming team fight, and Ice is going to be fine to head back to base to just grab some mana. And X-Freedom continues to push down in this bottom lane. CLG, they've now got 5 heroes defending up on this top barracks. And X-Freedom just using the wolves to push for now, but March of the Machines pushing up into the base, rocket spam coming as well. Pycat doing his best to hold off. Tornado and Deafening Blast invoked. HY moves onto the high ground. They want the tier 3. Blink out by him. Kinetic Field down. But tier 3 getting very low on health. I'm not sure if it can survive another wave of creeps. CLG Misery down on the bottom lane, just trying to hold off the tier 3 on bot. I mean, as soon as that tier 3 goes down, if a fight breaks out top, X-Freedom is going to be all over their barracks, and it's Lycan. I mean, there's no chance that he's not going to take them if CLG are distracted in a team fight. And I don't even think there's anyone on CLG right now that could 1v1 this Lycan. And Zenith immediately going for the push down the bottom lane. Blink in, Ravage, Refresher popped off, double Ravage, already a buyback for Misery. The cost gets the wall and the vacuum off just in time before he goes down. Big black hole on top as well. Catches for CLG, picking off 3 heroes right now. X-Freedom gonna be respawning in just a second, and Ice buying back as well. Loda able to retreat out, but X-Freedom gonna die as well. Big team fight for CLG. 2 heroes dead, but they managed to get the Aegis and get a buyback out of Ice. So basically 5 kills for 2 right now, and Pycat now with enough gold to pick up that pick up his Scythe of Ice. So that blink dagger for Ake, I think it really paid off for them there. That was an absolutely fantastic black hole. The vacuum setup really did everything for it, but that was exactly what they needed. Wall into a really big black hole, turning Zenith's farm straight back against them. And Miracle having to deny this tier 3 up on top, and XY now grabbing up a blink dagger. And we'll have to see if CLG can do the seemingly impossible twice. But really, all of their hopes have to come down to Misery. He's their hard carry. And while they can take these really good defensive team fights in the base, it's a question of whether they can take the offensive team fights while going for the push. I mean, just holding on in the position that they're in doesn't get you the game back. I mean, they've managed to level out the gold a little bit, but it's still a 15k difference. Pulling back the XP a little bit, but again, still 10k in favor of Zenith right now. So CLG, it's really perched on the razor's edge right now, and any pickoff either way could be really big. CLG, they've still got a long way to go to have a really convincing shot of winning this game, but with really good play, they're still in with a chance. And X-Freedom picking up Necro 2 straight away. I mean, again, Zenith, they control more of the map. They've got better farming presence right now, and they're keeping CLG pushed back. I mean, CLG really have to pay a lot of attention to these lanes, and especially with the top tier 3 down. If Lycan again gets any time near these barracks without backdoor protection, even with backdoor protection with the Necronomicon 3, he's going to be wiping them out. Absolutely no problem. And Zenith again forming up for the push down on the bottom lane. Ravage off cooldown, Refresher Orb off cooldown as well. And Black Hole not going to be off cooldown for 24 seconds, so this is a big opportunity for Zenith. X-Freedom again going for a split push up on top. Roshan not going to be up for another couple of minutes, so we'll have to see if Zenith decide to go for this or not. But no, it looks like they're just going to try and getting every lane pushed up into CLG's base. Maybe just trying to prepare for the Roshan. X-Freedom getting looped around right now, and the courier going down as well. Pops off the ultimate and just going to TP straight out, but the black hole popped by Ake. Looks like they really want X-Freedom here, but he's so beefy. 2.5k HP and a stun onto the Necro minion. Glimpsed back as well. Ice now TPing in, very low on mana. Is he going to be able to do anything? And Rubik going down to Pycat in the back there, but Miracle gets picked off by X-Freedom. X-Freedom, Ravage is here now. HY has the refresher. Second Ravage. Ake goes down. Misery gonna be falling as well. 3 dead for CLG. Pycat trying to do what he can. Lacoste, good wall down, but maybe just a little bit, too little, too late. And yeah, naked barracks up on top right now. Only the hard support dead for Zenith. And Ice gonna immediately TP down towards this bottom lane. Lacoste and Pycat down here just to try and take care of it, but the top racks are already taking a lot of damage from these wolves. And I mean, X-Freedom and Loda aren't even really there yet. EMP down, just trying to do what it can, but looks like it's going to be at least a melee barracks. Fortification popping off, but Zenith are up on the high ground. Good vacuum into the kinetic field. Loda trapped. Ice just going to force staff his way out. And they really want this melee barracks, are going to be able to pick it up. CLG still waiting for heroes to respawn. And Pycat spamming whatever he can off Loda. Gonna get grabbed back, but the force staff sends him straight past the kinetic field. And Zenith should be happy to just retreat right now. Yep, everybody's really low on mana from the EMP spam, so just gonna go back and sort of regroup. Oh, and Freedom finds a lucky regen rune, so he's not going to have to head back to base. And with the Vlads, I'm not sure if he would have had to anyway. And again, good timing for Zenith. They pick up, they cement their advantage even further, grabbing that Rax up on top, and Roshan's going to be up soon as well. So again, another chance to just really secure their victories in these coming team fights. And I don't want to... Gold actually still only about 15k the difference, but XP now creeping back up there again, 12k. I mean, surely still plenty of levels left for Zenith to grab. I thought maybe 1 or 2 heroes, maybe getting towards level 25, so that's sort of capping out the XP difference in a little bit, I guess. But Zenith, yeah, they're probably just gonna wait for this next Roshan. He's gonna be up in just a second, and we'll. CLG, they should know about it, but it's 24 seconds until that black hole is off cooldown. And we'll see if they're going to be able to contest this. If they lose a fight in the Roshan pit and without taking enough kills, then it's probably the rest of their barracks gone. So it would really be an all or nothing fight. But if they don't take it, then there's going to be the Aegis advantage and probably cheese as well, yeah, and cheese as well for Zenith. So even taking a team fight in their base is going to be messy as well. It's really deciding whichever is the lesser of two evils. Yeah, and Zenith just scouting out around the Roshan pit. Yeah, Black Hole now off cooldown, but we'll have to see what CLG opt to do right here. Misery now picked up that Manta style, so they're going to be a lot of CKs running around, but with the double Ravage off cooldown as well, I'm not sure how long they're going to be surviving. And again, Zenith getting every single lane pushed out. CLG now forced to deal with it, and they're going to be heading straight into the Roshan pit in a second. Yep, so Roshan now up. Aegis and Cheese available. HY. Waiting on this haste rune up on top. Is going to grab it now. And RCLG gonna try and contest this Roshan. It's gonna be going down so quickly between the Beastmaster Aura and all of the damage from the Lycanthrope. I mean, just look at that. Medallion, Gush as well. Rosh already on half health. Gonna be going down in just a second, and CLG not gonna be there contested. So Cheese and Aegis gonna be there. X-Freedom gonna take the Cheese. No, actually HY taking the Aegis. So gonna be able to play really aggressively, and even if he gets caught in that static storm and picked off, there's really no stopping that double Ravage in this next team fight. So Zenith, I think this is really the beginning of the end. Well, if it wasn't the beginning of the end before, it's definitely the beginning of the end now for CLG, and Lycan just gonna be wiping out that tower in 2 seconds flat. Tornado EMP gonna fly through. Misery in the middle of this. X-Freedom forward pops the ultimate, but the barracks are already taking a ton of damage, and the Necro minions just doing work as well. Misery trying to pull back into the kinetic field. Good black hole by Ake. Static Storm on top, but Loda cancels it off with the roar. And black hole stolen by XY. He's now grabbed Miracle and Misery. Another Ravage over the top. Heroes getting wiped out left, right, and center for CLG. Lacoste gonna get picked up as well. Grabbed in that telekinesis, and HY just throwing off that gush. Lacoste gonna be able to make it back to the fountain, but bottom barracks going down. Top barrack should be no problem whatsoever, and mid as well. Not really going to pose a threat, and there's no fortification either. I mean, Pycat and Lacoste gonna be able to do what they can, but yeah, XY steals EMP, rocket spam continues. EMP down, Lacoste grabbed up in the telekinesis and surges himself away. X-Freedom chasing, but again, all Zenith came for are the barracks, and they should have mega creeps in short order. So, Pycat buying up a BKB, but we'll have to see if anything happens. TPing really aggressively, gets telekinesis before he can even pop off that BKB, and does get picked off. So, going to be mega creeps for Zenith, and Pycat going to call the GG, but just excellently played by Zenith, showing exactly how to play around a Lycan. I mean, I know that the general consensus is that he's pretty overpowered, and I definitely agree with that in pubs, but teams have shown that they know how to deal with him in competitive games, and there definitely have been losses with Lycans. So Zenith really showing exactly how to play with the lycanthrope. But anyway, just gonna wait for the final score screen for the sake of the VOD. Shouldn't be all that long, no. So just a few seconds. Just gonna wait for. Oh, is this going to be accurate? I'm not sure if the console commands were in for this. No, I think they were. So hopefully, win will be awarded to Zenith. But we'll see. I mean, Ake's still connected, but just give it a second. And Ancient should be going down in just a minute, so yeah, there we go. So, I've been Baseskip. This was game 1 of a 2-game set from the International Preliminaries between Zenith and CLG. Yeah, an absolutely fantastic game. I'm reasonably happy with my casting, I guess. Anyway, so this has been part of my daily practice. I'm going to be jumping into game 2 in just a minute, but again, I guess I'll just reiterate, if you have any content whatsoever that you'd like me to cover, to cast, guides, any ideas, feel free to send me a message anywhere. YouTube, Reddit, email, it's all there. And yeah, it was absolutely great bringing you guys these games, and I hope to see you again some other time.